Ravens rally behind Derrick Henry's historic performance to keep playoff hopes alive and win over Packers Green Bay. With their season teetering on the brink and staring elimination in the face, the Baltimore Ravens delivered one of their most complete and compelling performances of the year, routing the Green Bay Packers 41-24 on Saturday night at historic Lambeau Field to keep their faint playoff hopes alive. In a game that became an instant signature moment, Derrick Henry torched the Packers' defense with a career-high rushing attack, piling up 216 yards and 4 touchdowns. His explosive night, powered by 36 carries, was the catalyst in a victory the Ravens desperately needed after a mid-season slump and the recent loss of their star quarterback. "It's one of the greatest performances I've ever seen," Ravens coach John Harbaugh said after the game, his voice betraying both relief and pride. "Derrick carried us through tonight. A must-win night turns into a statement." Baltimore, 8-8, entered Week 17 with its postseason destiny in question, needing a win to stay alive and hoping for help elsewhere in the AFC North race. The Ravens had struggled to find consistency all season, particularly after quarterback Lamar Jackson was ruled out with a back injury late last week, thrusting backup Tyler Huntley into the spotlight for a second straight start. Huntley responded with a poised performance, completing 16 of 20 passes for 107 yards and a touchdown, adding 60 yards on the ground and capably managing the offense behind a physical Ravens rushing attack. The Packers, who had already clinched a playoff berth earlier in the week, were hampered by injuries to quarterback Jordan Love, who was sidelined by concussion protocol and played without their starter under center. Backup Malik Willis filled in admirably, completing 18 of 21 passes for 288 yards and producing 2 rushing touchdowns, but ultimately couldn't match Baltimore's offensive balance. Henry's historic night. Henry's performance was the dominant storyline. In an era when workhorse running backs are increasingly rare, he shouldered the Ravens' offense, breaking tackles and turning short gains into momentum-shifting plays. His night marked the 7th time in his career with 200-plus rushing yards, an NFL record, and solidified his place among the game's elite backs. The Ravens took control early, and Henry's consistent ground success wore down Green Bay's defense, which could not effectively stop Baltimore's run game or sustain drives of its own. With the victory, the Ravens improved their road record and kept alive a slim path to the postseason, a path that now hinges on the outcome of Sunday's AFC North game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns. If Pittsburgh wins or ties, Baltimore will be eliminated. If Cleveland pulls off an upset, the Ravens could still clinch the division with a Week 18 victory. Packers season still in motion for the Packers, 9-6-1. The loss comes at a moment when their playoff position was already locked, but their momentum has stalled. The defeat marked their 3rd straight and allowed the Chicago Bears to clinch the NFC North title. Still, Green Bay's postseason hopes remain intact as the NFC's number 7 seed, and the team will look to recover and refocus in Week 18. Looking ahead as the Ravens depart Wisconsin with a rare and much-needed victory, the mood in Baltimore will be one of cautious optimism. With Henry in peak form and Huntley demonstrating steady leadership in relief, they head into a decisive Week 18 matchup with the Steelers, knowing everything is still, just barely, within reach. In a season filled with injuries and setbacks, this night in Green Bay offered a reminder of what this team can be at its best: relentless, physical, and refusing to fold when its back is against the wall.